Welcome to the Different Frames podcast. I've lost track of how many episodes we've done, but this is our latest one. I'm Greg Joya, joined as always by Antonio and David. We have a special fun thing we've come up with this week to do. We're going to play a game called Roll the Dice, or maybe Roll the Die, because it's just one die. And if you're observant, you'll see this is not your grandfather's die. This is a 10-sided die, as maybe a Dungeon and Dragon player or a role player RPGer might have. And what we've done, Antonio and I have each come up with 10 categories of film. Initially, this was going to be very simple. It was going to be rom-com, drama, horror. But we decided to take it another step or two up. So it's not just, and you'll find out soon enough what these categories are, but we've got some pretty specific, pretty unusual categories. And we're just going to take turns. Do you have it? You don't have a 10-sided die, right, Antonio?
No, I don't.
Okay. So I'll roll the
You
die
could roll
each time.
for me.
And we're going to take turns. So I'm going to roll it. And if I get 7, I will choose the 7th category on the list I made, which Antonio has not seen, and put him on the spot. He's got to come up with a movie that he thinks fits that. And then we switch it around. When it's Antonio's turn, I'll roll it. Whatever number, he'll hit me with a topic, and I've got to just freestyle it. So I think that makes sense. It should be obvious once we get going. And we do have a special little something in mind in case we get the same number twice that will save and will spring on you if and when we get a duplicate number. So unless anyone want to add anything, should we jump right into this? You guys want to say a quick hi to our
hello everybody, but I think we got a lot of movies to talk about, so I think we can just jump straight in.
Yeah, we're going to get at least 10
Let's
movies
jump
here.
in.
So whose list should I roll for? Am I rolling for you to give me one or me to give you one?
I think we go Antonio first because you introduced the episode.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll.
on behalf.
I got number 7. So 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4, 5, 6. Okay, so this category for Antonio is it's a superhero film. No, really, it is. So you've got to pick one that maybe at first glance it's not Spider-Man, it's not Superman, who knows? What is it? It's a superhero film. No, really, it is.
What comes to mind is that like a movie that is technically a superhero movie, but it's not something like immediately like marketed as a superhero movie. And what's coming to mind right now is the film Unbreakable.
Absolutely,
Night Shyamalan's film.
That's a great answer.
That was just the first thing that came into my mind because maybe not to spoil it. I don't think this is a big spoiler for the movie, but it's kind of billed as like a mystery thriller movie, and then bit by bit, there's little indicators of references and indicators that maybe you have superpowers or like this is what the superhero is, and towards the end of the movie, then it's kind of revealed like Samuel L. Jackson is like you are a superhero, and then kind of the final act of the movie is Bruce Willis's character realizing like he can do things with these powers that he has. I guess to give a quick synopsis of the movie, it's about Bruce Willis is this his dad in this like struggling relationship with his wife, and he is in a train accident and he becomes the only survivor of the train accident. And not only is he the only survivor, but he has pretty much unscathed. And then he kind of realizes that he's never really been sick and he's never broken anything his whole life. So then Samuel L. Jackson's character is called Mr. Glass, and he's always been broken his whole life. Like any little bump will like break his bones. So he owns a comic book shop, and he proposes the idea that Bruce Willis is like the opposite of him, that he is like a superhero or a superhuman.
I think that's a good place to stop, just in case we don't want to spoil it. Because
that's
they're going to bring in supervillains, and there's other things, and so that's a fantastic answer. While you were saying that, it occurred to me a related film that maybe even a better answer is Split. That it was a sequel to Unbreakable that you don't realize until the post-credit scene is the sequel, which I think was brilliant. So I think Unbreakable is a great answer for that. So bravo. I hope I can do as well on yours. So I'm going to roll. Number 2. What is your number 2 topic for me?
Okay, number 2,
Oh,
we
the
got
pressure's on.
okay, number 2 is fun movies to watch on mute.
Fun movies to watch on mute. Do pornographic films count? I think that would be the obvious answer, right? You don't want the household
Yeah.
to hear. Um,
Mhm.
a fun movie to watch on mute. Oh boy, this is harder than I thought. Now I'm on the spot. Um, I think. Well, okay, so this is another cheat answer I'm not going to use, but I'm a huge fan of silent movies, and of course, those are mute by default.
Yeah.
Um, but I think maybe a fun movie to watch on mute are the Godzilla films.
Hmm.
And I could pick, one, I suppose, but anything, especially those old ones, like kind of like King Kong versus Godzilla on through Terror of Mechagodzilla. Like, what's happening. You and your friends could almost provide a story. Do you guys know the movie What's Up, Tiger Lily?
Oh yeah,
I think that
yeah.
was Woody Allen's first film. He bought the rights to a Japanese gangster film and then just basically dubbed in his own comedic dialogue. So the
That's
plot
funny.
completely changed. Nothing, it's completely nonsensical. You could almost do that, get your friends over, have some drinks, and just put on Godzilla versus Megalon and just, make it up as you go along and try to keep the plot consistent and try to keep the characters, see how long it lasts. So I think that's what I would do. I would do some kind of sort of, I think they call it the Shoei era kaiju film and just have fun with Godzilla and friends. So I don't know if I need to give a plot recap of Godzilla. My version of Godzilla versus Megalon might be totally different if I was making up the dialogue, but basically Godzilla fights something called Megalon, and not surprisingly, Godzilla wins.
Do you have a maybe top like three that you think would be really good on mute?
Oh, well, okay. So one I just saw the other night, which is strictly speaking not a Godzilla. It's a Toho film, but it's called King Kong Escapes. They
Mm.
showed it at the local Alamo, and it's King Kong fight. It's like basically King Kong versus Mecha King Kong. King Kong fighting the robot
Hell
version of
yeah.
himself.
I love that
That
one,
that
yeah.
might be a fun one. I think and again, not Godzilla. This is also Toho, but not Godzilla. But same director, same. Frankenstein Conquers the World, where the Nazis
Mm.
have saved Frankenstein's heart. The Japanese guy takes it. They grow it into like a giant kaiju-sized Frankenstein that fights one of the gargantuas. Just it's bonkers movie that I think you don't really need to you know
Yeah.
what's happening. You don't need the dialogue. So, but I mean, you can't go wrong. Just about any of those are going to be.
Cool.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Nice.
yeah. So there we go. So I'm giving you one now, right? So I've
Yeah.
got
Yes.
number 3. This is a movie that will inspire you to do something great today. Doesn't have to be to change your life or save the world, but just you're sitting on your
Okay.
ass doing
Mm.
nothing. You see a movie that's going to make you just do the dishes or cure
Uh-huh.
cancer. You decide. Movie that will inspire you to do something great today.
Um,
This is
there's 2
trickier than we
movies
thought,
coming to
isn't it?
mind, and I'm okay,
Yeah, I
yeah,
was the same way with that last one. I was like, "Oh my god, what am I gonna say here?"
more recently, I saw a movie, Basquiat, about Jean-Michel
Mm.
Basquiat. I forget who directed it, but it's not one of the documentaries, it's the, like, movie with Jeffrey Wright,
Yeah, no, I know
where
exactly
he
the movie you're
plays
talking about.
Basquiat. Yeah, so I watched that recently, and, um, I knew about Basquiat. I had seen, like, his art and the documentaries and stuff, but I hadn't seen that movie. But I finally watched the movie, and it's a really sad movie, but I think, just as an artist and someone who grew up kinda, like, encouraged to do art and make art, that movie, the way Basquiat is portrayed and, like, his, free thinking of, like, "I'm just gonna draw on this thing, and now I'm gonna go over here and create," I just need to create, that kind of I don't know, really inspires me, and it's, how sad, like, it is how he's, like, kind of squanders his life and, kind of ruins it with, drug addiction is pretty sad, but I think the opposite side of that is that, like, um, he felt like the fame and the money wasn't really like that wasn't the indicator of success necessarily. He was just compelled to like make art. So after I saw that movie, I was like, oh, I just everything can be artistic. Like I don't have to like be like sitting down and doing blah blah blah. I can just think of my life more in like artistic way. There's like the ending of the film is some story that from like Basquiat's childhood and like it just like brings the whole movie together in a weird way, and it was very touching. And I think even if you're not an artist, if you watch that movie, you'll become like inspired in some way. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
that
that's
that would be like
Answer.
a movie that would change my day.
exact perfect answer. Yeah.
Nice.
No, I can totally see that because actually, when I was writing these questions, I was thinking of something. And that was one that I had a similar type of thing with. So that makes perfect sense.
Cool.
But yeah, so I rolled a 7 from your list. I know I've told you my 7, but I've lost track of what numbers.
I've been keeping track.
Okay, so 7. What is your 7th one for me?
My seventh one is a found footage movie.
Ooh, it's funny. I just heard of a found footage movie that I'd never heard. In fact, they said it might be the first found footage movie ever, from the '80s, called
Hmm.
the McPherson tape.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Was also marketed as like the UFO tape or something,
Oh
which
wow.
I've never seen, so I can't make that my answer. But it was just interesting that just a few days ago I heard about that for the first time, and apparently it was the first example where they just shot it on a video cassette to make it look like an old video cassette recorder. I think they even marketed it on like a video cassette that looked homemade about an alien invasion. Um, but found footage. The two that come to mind. Um, I mean, I feel like this is such the obvious cliche answer, but like the Blair Witch Project is the one that I saw that just like seeing that in a theater, then stepping out into the sunlight. I felt affected by it, which I don't usually feel from movies. Like it was genuinely creepy, weird. Like you knew it was fake, but they made it feel completely like what it was, purported to be. Um, Cloverfield is the other one that I was going to say that, also, it's the whole thing. You see it on the guy's handheld cam, um, both effective. But I feel like the Blair Witch. I mean, I guess synopsis again. If you haven't seen Blair Witch, I don't think there's much of a spoiler to it either, because it's just the idea is these three kids. I think it was in the '90s. It was made. Three kids hear about a legend of a witch that haunts this section of the woods, and they kind of go out with a camera to find the witch, and they camp, and each night creepy things happen, and eventually they end up in the witch's little house, and they meet an unfortunate end, and then the videotape is found. But it was just I don't I wonder how effective it would be now. Like now the other films have come out like that, but at the time seeing that it was very unsettling. Part of it was that
Hmm.
shaky camera maybe, but mostly just like it was a scary, like at the end you see the guy standing and like the camera, and it's just
Yeah.
I again, like obviously it's the most famous found footage movie, but probably for a reason, because they really got it right. Um but yeah, Blair
Yeah.
Witch would be my answer there.
Yeah, that's a great movie, and I think it's really scary, like because of the acting.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I mean, those I don't think those people have really done anything else, but they're fantastic actors. Like,
Oh yeah, they made it feel
you know,
real. Like you felt like those
right?
were
It
just
feels real.
three. Yeah, three. They were not. They didn't over. They were so good at acting that you felt like they were not acting. You felt like it was believable. This could have been just three, you know, Gen X kids that went out in the woods.
And
Um,
that was also one of the first movies where they like did sort of viral online marketing where
mhm.
there was like stuff about the movie beforehand, like building this legend in this world beforehand, and people were like, "Oh, is this real? Is this real?" And
Yeah.
it was really
Yeah,
cool.
that was something else that Cloverfield kind of mimicked too, where they also had all
Totally.
those like fake product placement tie-ins, and um, but yeah, no, it's a fascinating way to make a film that I'm surprised more people haven't made movies like that. There have been some, but it's not as prevalent a genre it's got to be a cheap way to shoot something when
I
you're
was gonna
trying
say
to
there's
make.
lots of cheap found footage
Yeah.
movies on
Okay,
like
there may be
Tubi,
some that
but it's hard
maybe
to
a
do
little
it
lower.
well is the big
Yeah,
problem.
maybe that's it.
Yeah, I
Maybe
guess it's
tons of
hard to
people
do
have
it
tried it.
realistically.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them kind of provoke the question of like, why are you still filming this? Because like once it like starts getting really bad,
For sure.
Yeah. That's always kind of like in Cloverfield, you're like, at this point, I would have just dropped the heavy camera and been
Right.
running from these monsters. I would not still be like,
Yeah.
oh.
They do a little bit of a good job with, like, needing the night vision on the camera,
Mhm.
in Cloverfield, but yeah, towards the end, you're kind of like, "Okay,
Yeah.
wouldn't you be done filming?"
Yeah. I would have
Have you
dropped that.
guys seen, the new War of the Worlds movie yet? The
I'm
one with Ice
aware of it.
Cube?
I've heard of it, but I've heard
I
bad
haven't watched it
things.
either.
The whole thing is just what, him on a webcam or something?
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
on his desktop.
Yeah.
Just thinking
I don't,
about how,
I
like
may have watched that, but there's so many things I'd
I
rather watch.
I,
I heard
I've
it's so
seen
bad.
I've seen the scene where he has to order Amazon Prime.
Hmm.
He has to order so it's an Amazon produced movie, and in the
Okay.
middle of it, there's a big ad for Amazon where he's like, "Oh no, I need like a hard drive that I don't have. Luckily, Amazon Prime can deliver it within 15 minutes." Like,
Matt's good delivery. 50. I've had
yeah,
same
it's
day, but 15 minutes. That's
like
I
so
only
I
for the
good,
think, like,
movie.
so cool.
Probably
the
more believable
concept
than
is
aliens attack.
the concept isn't bad because of, like, the idea that, the radio play War of the Worlds was sort of, like, presented
Yeah,
as realistic, so the concept of doing War of the Worlds as found footage isn't bad, but I've just seen clips and
Clever. That's
heard
a good
bad things,
observation.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
it looked
Yeah.
really bad.
I showed my two sons the old War of the World, the 50s War of the Worlds.
Hmm.
Uh,
Mhm.
I don't know, earlier this year, maybe. I don't remember exactly, but recently they both loved it. But I don't know about this new one. Tom Cruise was in the remake, right? The Tom Cruise
Yeah,
one.
the Spielberg one. Yeah,
Yeah, that was pretty good. It wasn't. It was
I
a
love
little
that
over the
one.
top, but I enjoyed that
Sure.
one.
Mhm.
cool. All right, we want to.
Um, so now I'm rolling from my list for you.
Yes.
4. 1, 2, 3. What is the best film with a child as the lead actor?
Ooh.
Oh, best film with the child as a lead actor.
Yeah.
This one might be tough because it's kinda hard to for,
Lead.
like, a
Yeah.
child actor to be really that good, but then
Yeah.
there are some really standout performances.
And then I guess you have a little leeway because, like, we saw The Exorcist. I wouldn't say the child was the lead actor, but she
Right.
was prominent. So I mean, I don't know, how you can. You got some leeway on how much of a lead actor you think the child is.
Yeah, what comes to mind is, like, The Sixth Sense with, Haley Joel
Oh,
Osment.
there we go.
Um, I would consider him he's, like, the 2nd lead, like, obviously, Bruce Willis is that top build on that movie,
Hmm.
but he's really good in that, just a haunting performance from that, like, little kid. He's always great. He's great in, I guess, AI too, like, he's more of the lead in AI.
Oh
Um,
yeah, he was
he's
there.
just fantastic, like, to be able to convey, like, I'm a robot and I'm not a real kid, but then he still has these, like, programmed emotions and, you know, way he presents himself as a robot. It's, like, an amazing performance from a child, like,
Hmm.
to, like, be this artificial intelligence, like, before we've even had, like, AI, like, yeah, that's a really good performance. More recently, I'm trying to think of more recent, the 28 Years Later, have you guys seen that?
I have not.
Oh, 20. The lead is a
Um,
child. I didn't realize the lead was a child.
yeah, so they didn't really reveal that in marketing. It was more like, okay, it's Aaron Taylor Johnson and,
Yeah.
Ray Fiennes and Jodie Comer. But it's actually this story about this, like, 12-year-old boy. It's like a coming of age adventure story.
Oh, interesting.
He's
I need
just
to
really
see
good
it.
at it. Yeah, I think you would really like it, Greg. It's a pretty unique movie. But yeah, those are what come to mind for child actors in a movie.
Yeah, no, that's those are great calls. That we got two Shyamalan. His first two.
I was gonna say we're.
Maybe if you hit my one that says best movie where people go to a beach and get really old, you can. No, I don't
We've
think I
talked
have any
about
right
him a
now.
lot on the
I
podcast.
know this is an
Yeah.
M Night. This is an M Night safe space.
Hey, his first few movies, he was knocking it out the park. Like I haven't been that
Yeah,
enthused with him lately, but he was. All right, so I'm rolling for. So I got 2. So this is for you to tell me list your
I
list.
believe. So this is Antonio's 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was also the first number they rolled. So this is our first duplicate.
Oh, okay. So was that the watch it with the sound off?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Antonio.
dear audience of ours, we've decided that if we duplicate a number on someone's list, the person who made the list gets to answer the question, and then we roll again for me to do one. So you get a bonus movie here. Antonio is going to tell you what
Oh,
he wants to
gosh.
watch with the sound off.
I'm trying to think now of like movies I put on at parties and then that people have been like, "What is that?" Yeah, there's better movies I could have picked, and maybe this is a future category for an episode. But I remember one time we had a party, and I just had RoboCop on repeat on the TV,
Okay.
and that's such a
good
great
pick,
movie. I
actually.
love that movie. Like, but I think having it on mute at a party too, it was like it kind of shows like how engrossing that movie is, like visually too. Like you don't
Mhm.
need sound, and you can still follow the story. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
um, but yeah, there's probably more like crazier movies or like like you were saying, cult movies that you can put them on mute and it's like what's happening and stuff.
Yeah.
But I just remember like having RoboCop on repeat, and it played about
Oh,
like 2 or 3
RoboCop's
times.
great for that. Yeah. Like, and people know what it is too, so you're not gonna have like people, oh,
Sure.
that's
Yeah.
RoboCop, and they most have seen it or they.
I think it might be like a good exercise from time to time with like watch a movie that you like on mute just to like see what you gather from it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, all right, so 4. Have I done 4 from your list?
No.
Okay, spring it on me.
Okay, so this is like a hateable main character in the movie, like a character you just hate.
Oh,
He's the main
okay.
character.
Hateable main character. A couple things are coming to mind. I don't want to jump the gun here. Hateable main
Uh,
character. Um, okay, not my answer, but the one that just came to mind. This movie everybody but me seems to love is Frances Ha. Couldn't
Ha.
stand her. Couldn't stand her friends. I just hated them all. I just, when they were flying to France, I wanted the plane to crash and the
Mhm.
titles to come up. Hateable main character. Oh, there's so many. American Psycho comes to mind.
Of
Like,
course.
he's
Huh?
running around butchering people, but he's weird and but that's too easy too, because he's the killer. Oh, I may regret saying that. I may have to come back to that one, but just nothing better than dead air silence on a podcast. So somebody
Right.
say something
I
while I
kind of want to
ponder
hear
this.
more about. I kind of want to hear a little bit more about the Francis Ha, because I feel like that's a good answer to the category too.
Oh,
Because
maybe
you
that is
said
my
that, like,
answer. I just,
Yeah.
you know what? Let's go with it. So I watched that. So in fact, my nephew Mike, who initially introduced us, he
mhm,
and his friends had, maybe you were part of this before I knew you. They had like a March Madness thing going with movies where they would constantly
mhm,
have these 2 movies face off. So you were always watching 2 movies to like cast your vote in time. And it
okay.
got to whatever Francis Ha versus something. And I just kept trying. I watched it and I'll watch the rest tomorrow. I watched 10 more minutes the next day. Well, and I kept
Mhm.
like just trying to fight my way through that thing. But she just, maybe because I knew so many people like her when I lived in Oakland. There were all these kids that were
Mm,
just like those, just that kind of, I don't know, just those, they did, the people that just aren't doing much with their life and they're just lounging around, but they somehow seem to have the
mhm.
money to do all these ridiculous things they do.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just didn't care for, it was her. It was, she had a couple of friends. Like I think I've blanked a lot of them. I never did finish it. I got about like,
Mhm.
80% through, and I just had to tap out and just whatever the other one. I voted for the other one without, but
That's
I don't
funny.
know that just a lot of observations about the world that seemed really shallow. A lot
Mhm.
of quirky interests that were just interesting because they were quirky and just I don't know. But do you guys love this movie? Also, Mick, everybody
No,
loves this
I
movie.
don't.
Well,
I'm not like particularly fond
Okay.
or against it.
Okay, so many
well, it's
people.
funny.
It's just,
I really liked it when I saw it, but like it's been years and years, and I was kind of young.
Mhm.
So like hearing you say this, and I'm trying to like, what if I rewatched it? I might feel the same way.
That could be it too, is that I'm so much older than the
Right.
target audience or the characters that, yeah, maybe if I was in
Mhm.
college,
Mhm.
or high school or something and saw it, I could be like, yeah, it's just like that's the life. But I know I just saw just a lot of those kind of like grungy, granola, hippie,
Yeah.
hipster,
Sure.
whatever you call
Right.
them, like those kind of, kids that 10 years from now they'll probably be like homeless or something, but they're living their best life in their 20s and not I
Right.
don't know. Maybe I sound like I'm telling them to get off my lawn, but
Yeah.
yeah, I guess Frances Ha and her whole entourage, they get my vote for hateable main characters.
Likeable
Patrick Bateman is
leads.
even better than Frances Ha. At least he had his like when he talked about Huey Lewis, like he made some good points. Like he made some intelligent observations. Their observations were just so like, man,
Yeah.
the sky is blue. Oh yeah, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
So
I
Yeah.
like your
Yeah.
answer because it's not like, oh, that character is a bad person. It's like I kind of wanted you to answer something like that, where like the
okay,
character is
well, good.
supposed to be
Yeah,
presented as like this is the main character and you should be interested in their life, and it's like
Eat
this is
this
yeah,
awful
person.
and
yeah. Okay, it's
insufferable.
Freddy Krueger. Well, of course. Who's gonna leave
Yeah.
for
Right,
Freddy?
of course.
So yeah, Francis
Yeah.
Ha. So okay.
All right.
Um, I got a 3. What does that mean? I'm giving you one?
Yes, but you've already rolled a
I
3.
have. I have. I've got to tell a movie that will inspire me to do something great today. Um, all right. Well, I'm gonna start by cheating, but then I'll segue into a movie because what actually, when I thought of this category, it was because of a TV show. But then I can think of a movie that's similar to the TV show that also inspires me. Is that Baz Luhrmann a few years ago did that kind of hip hop Netflix show called The Get Down,
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and so me, I've been DJ the majority of my life, and I was like when I initially started DJing, I was inspired by like tapes from the Bronx in the 70s and like that style of DJing that's way out of date now. A totally different kind of hip hop. This is like hip hop when the MCs were barely a thing. Like the rapper was, you know, it was all about the DJ and the breaks. And so watching the Get Down was just like I wanted to, in fact I did like after watching that I got back into doing that kind of DJing that I hadn't done for 15, 20 years. And I put together, I've got my band now that, is, that style of hip hop inspired by that. But since we're doing movies, the movie that initially inspired me back in the 80s that is kind of like ground zero for me being a DJ is Wild Style.
Mm.
It's directed by Charlie Ahern, who's like a documentary maker.
Mhm.
I think he was. I believe that's what he had been mostly been doing. And it's like half documentary, half movie. And it was like after that they had like Beat Street and Break In and these other movies. Um, but Ahern just went up to the Bronx and found some graffiti artists and kind of created a script around the graffiti artists. And since the graffiti was so tied into DJing and emceeing, he also brought in like the Cold Crush Brothers and Grandmaster Flash and these like pioneers who in the 70s had basically invented rap and hip hop. And, so some of the movie is filmed in a nightclub where, Cold Crush is on stage and Mr. Magic is there. And then I think he has the Fantastic Five. And there's like a scene on a basketball court where they're rap battling each other. And even the script, he wrote lines, but he told people just say it your way. So everything feels very kind of almost like a documentary, almost like a homemade film or something. There's even one scene where he had these guys, there's going to be like a robbery in the street in the Bronx. And the guy that played the robber, he just showed up without time and pulled out like a sawed-off 12 gauge and like pretended
My
to rob and
God.
freaked the hell out of people. Then he, okay, got his money and left. And, they
That's
look
great.
genuinely shocked when they've got this, shotgun pointed at them. Um, but yeah, I saw that and I was just like, whatever that is, I want to be doing that. So you know, this was 1983, 84 it came out.
Mm.
So yeah, wild style to me, even to this day.
Nice.
In fact, just the other day, I texted my crew, the guys. I got 5 MCs that perform with me, and I was like, if any of you haven't seen Wild Style, we should get together at my place and watch it because it'll give you a better sense of what it is I'm trying to force you to do on
Yeah.
stage. Because
Yeah.
so so Wild
Awesome.
Style. Um, all right, so now I'm gonna roll again and hopefully not get a
Not no.
duplicate. I got 3 again. Okay, 1. This is the first movie you watch after you get out of jail. And it's not a night in the drunk tank. We're
Oh,
talking you did 10 years,
you did
you're
10
whatever,
years.
you're coming out, they give you your bag with your clothes, you walk out,
Mhm.
go home, whatever. What's the first movie you watch after doing hard time?
That's crazy. That's a hard movie. Okay, I just watched this the other day, so this is why I'm thinking it. But
Mhm.
I'm coming with Boogie Nights by Paul Thomas
Mm.
Anderson.
Okay. That's a good answer.
Um, Mostly because of the soundtrack, but I think just this sort of ensemble, like, funny, sort of sexy movie with like set design and all. I mean, I didn't even live through the '70s, but I think like just this idea of like seeing more like lavish stuff and eye candy and sound, and I think it would be a fun movie, even though it gets kind of sad towards the end. But I think
I
it
was
would
gonna
be,
say, yeah, the 80s are pretty
kind of
rough in there.
right, right. But that's a tricky category because it's like, what have you been missing out on in prison, and then like, what would you want to see? But what's funny to me, I mean, not funny, but what I hear often, maybe this is only when people are in prison, but
Mhm.
prisoners who are in prison, they love watching like prison movies and like about that experience, which I always found interesting that like they're not really like sure they watch other movies like in prison sometimes, like about the outside world, but they kind of like watching their experience reflected in movies, which is
Mhm.
kind of crazy to me. That's a tough one because it's like I feel like I would end up just being like on like how on Netflix you're just going through movies like, oh, that's a good
Yeah.
movie, that's a good movie, I should watch that.
Yeah.
That's what end up you know I would end up doing is like looking at my DVD collection, like what do I want to watch first? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I,
Or
I
you
would say
might be like,
Boogie
what has
Nights.
come out in the last 10 years? What's new?
Yeah, what did I
Yeah, right, right.
miss?
What have I missed? And then you watch
I'd
something that
still
you're
miss
like,
an
oh, that
entire
sucked.
franchise films. You'll be like, wait, Iron Man, they had made
So
40
far
more movies?
behind on the MCU.
Yeah.
Mhm.
By then they'll have rebooted the X-Men or something, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
No, that's
funny.
good. I figured either something gritty or just something feel good to be like, "Ah, I'm free." But yeah.
Boogie Nights is kind of the perfect balance.
Yeah. Okay, so now I am rolling for one from Antonio's list.
Yes.
I got 4.
4 has been
Okay, so
done.
this was been done. Oh God, now so I have to do it.
What was this one?
So this was hateable main characters.
Oh, good. Okay.
All right. So what comes to mind for a hateable main character? I've only seen this movie one time, and it was really I made quite an impression on me. But Man Bites Dog,
Oh,
French
shit.
film. This would also fall. Well, this isn't found footage, but this would, I guess, kind of found footage. This is like a mockumentary movie about a French film crew following around a hitman, and it is a really bleak movie. It's like I guess you could say it's a dark comedy because it is kind of funny, but it's like ultra black. And to be honest, I don't remember every single scene of the movie, but I just remember walking away from it being just like that main character is like probably one of the most fucked up people in like movie history.
Wow.
Like he just goes around like at some point just starts shooting everybody. Um, but yeah, it's a good movie. But I mean, I couldn't even tell you much about the character besides that he's a hitman, but he's like a psychopath.
Mhm.
And it's kind of funny because it's like these like it's billed as like these French film crew like we're gonna make this crazy movie like radical movie and we're gonna follow around this hitman like committing these murders. Obviously, it ends up backfiring on them in a big way because hanging around somebody like that is not a good idea. So
That's risky, yeah.
uh, Yeah.
I need to see it. I've never seen that. It's called Man Bites Dog?
Yeah.
hmm
It used
In
to
English.
be. It was a classic in the days when Criterion was on Hulu. That was that was one of the ones that
Okay.
was always on there. Because
Huh.
that's why I watched that movie when I was like 16 or something, because it was like I was like starting to get into like art films, and I was like, well, that sounds
Mhm.
interesting. I was like, this is a miserable watch.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah,
That's
it's
worth
something
looking
I've been trying to rewatch, but it's also like, do I want to rewatch that? I don't know.
Yeah.
up. Okay.
All
So
right.
now I'm
So
rolling again for
yes,
Antonio, and then he's going to hopefully pick one for me. And then, 2. Did we get his
I
second one
already
already?
did 2.
We've
We've
done it
already done it
twice, right?
twice. So
Okay.
Okay, roll again.
10. What about 10?
10.
Okay, mine is
Or
a film about an hour. That's an hour long or under an hour.
a film that is about or under an hour long.
Yeah.
That's actually a good one for me because a lot of those older kind of 20s and 30s films that I love, they clock in at about an hour. In fact, we just watched something the other. Um, in fact, I can probably go grab it. I can give a visual display since I think it's sitting right here.
Yeah, show
I would
off
say
that media.
I would say the films of Ed Wood. Basically
Oh,
any
they're
of
all up.
them.
Oh yeah.
I think hour 17 is the longest.
So maybe I am corrupting my children, but I take them with me to these silent films sometimes. And last year, September 29th is Silent Film Day. So last year on Silent Film Day, they showed Clash of the Wolves, which is a Rin Tin Tin silent.
Oh,
And
hell yeah.
the kids loved, especially the younger boy, Carmine, who was 6 at the time. And so they'd been talking about Rin Tin Tin, and it kind of surprised me. But when my sister-in-law asked what they wanted for their birthdays just this last month, they both have birthdays in August. They wanted Rin Tin Tin movies. So my sister-in-law bought Lighthouse
by the Sea.
by the Sea, which is a Rin Tin Tin the Wonder Dog. I think it's 59 minutes long, if I recall.
Let's go.
I don't know if it says so on the, but I recall because Carmine will always start. How long is the movie? He always Carmine's fascinated with numbers and time, so it was a 59-minute movie, and not as I've seen better Rin Tin Tins. I think Clash of the Wolves was better, but it's a fun movie and they loved it, and there are many other under an hour movies, but that's what I'm going with because I just saw it, and because I think in fact, Rin Tin Tin probably doesn't have the star. It used to be everybody knew even when I was a kid, Rin Tin Tin still had some cachet. He was the original in the line of like Lassie and Benji and Asta and I don't. Is there a dog now? Do they? Is there?
I don't know if there's much of a wonder dog these of
I feel
days.
like for most
No.
of my life there was always like a celebrity dog, but they're really maybe that could be a niche. Maybe some studio. Like I know people aren't really going to superhero movies anymore. Maybe it's dog movies should come back. Maybe they need to
Well,
train. And with CGI, you could probably make these dogs do some incredible things.
yeah.
They do that every few years. There's always a crazy dog movie.
Yeah.
The
There was the
dog
one was
from
it
that
Stallone had the
French
dog
movie was good.
partner who was a cop. And
Oh yeah.
um,
Yeah.
Dog Man, I guess, but
Dog man.
So yeah, Ren 1010 they're entertaining, and it's cool just to see the dog do little tricks. I presume they treated him well. I hope there's no animal cruelty here. I never see Ren 10 do
I
anything that.
don't. Yeah, I don't
painful.
know specifically. I'm sure there was stuff that like today wouldn't
Yeah.
fly, but
Sure.
I do know that Rin Tin Tin himself, the dog, was treated like very well when he wasn't filming, at least.
Okay. Yeah,
At
I
the
believe I've
studio, they
seen his
paid him in
star Walk
steak,
of Fame.
famously.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What's that?
I
What?
said they paid him in steak, famously.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh.
Which, maybe isn't a staple of the natural dog diet, but
Yeah.
he's a movie
I
star
do
dog.
a
He
movie
also
occasionally.
received the most votes for best actor at the first Oscars in 27.
Really? Ren 10
Before they took it particularly seriously, and the like Academy was like, guys, we're trying to put on a real award show here.
So who
We
stole
can't
his
give it to
trophy?
the dog.
So they didn't award it to him. Who got the first best actor then?
That I don't know.
So
Whoever got the
somebody
second
robbed
most
Rin Tin
votes.
Tin.
Somebody
Well,
robbed her. I think they should give it to him still.
Yeah, he needs a sort of retroactive,
that
posthumous
movie,
correction of that.
that movie Anatomy of a Fall. Did you guys see it?
That's
Yeah.
another one on my list. My cousin
Good
was
dog.
taking
Great dog movie.
Yeah, the dog in that movie is such a good actor, and I was serious. I was like, the Academy Awards needs to recognize this dog like as an actor.
He should at
And there
least
was
get
this whole thing
nominated.
where there was this whole thing where they like it wasn't invited to the Oscars, and everyone was upset, and so then they brought him to the Oscars,
Oh,
and
there we go.
they had a little shot of him in the seat, and I was like, yeah, like this is the
I
best
got to see
thing.
it just for the dog. The
Oh
artist,
yeah.
if you saw the artist, that silent film that got Best Picture had a great dog in it.
Mhm.
By the way, Emil Jannings won the first robbed Rin Tin Tin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's good, but he didn't deserve. Rin Tin Tin's a better actor.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So
this
now
is
I am
one
rolling.
for Antonio.
This is for Antonio.
And this will be the last one for
Okay, I got
Antonio.
stressed.
4.
4 has been done.
Which I think I already got from my list, right? Best
Yes.
film with
I
a
did.
child lead actor. So now I answer that. Okay.
Oh, so you do it, yeah.
Let's see. I should have come up with my own answers for these things.
Yeah, be
I
ready.
didn't either.
Okay, I've got a couple. So the one I'm not going to give, Home Alone, very obvious answer.
Good
I think
answer.
Macaulay Culkin really
Good one.
just knocks it out of the park there. There's an older film. I haven't seen this. I saw this, like maybe Turner Classic Movies or something, like 30 years ago. It's called Little Fugitive. It's a movie from the 50s. And I don't... All I know about it, I read somewhere that it was like, it influenced the French New Wave movies that came later.
Huh.
The way this was shot. Because it is very... So the story is, there's this, like the mom, I think it's a single mom or maybe the parents, but like the parents are gone for the day. And the older brother's probably 12 or so. Little brother's probably 6 or 7. The older brother and his friends, they're playing like cowboys and Indians or cops and robbers or something, and they don't want the little kid to pester them. So they trick him into thinking that he's killed one of them. Like they're like shooting an arrow or something, and like, they think, oh yeah, you better go home and hide or something because you killed. If I may be misremembering this, I haven't seen this in a long time, but basically, I think they're in like Brooklyn or something, and the kid really freaks out, so he just runs away, and you kind of follow him through and it's just shot like, just following this little kid through New York. He ends up at Coney Island, and not a whole lot of dialogue either. Like, he kind of, loses track of he's a little kid, so he sort of like forgets for a while that he supposedly killed his brother. And, he's riding some of the rides or getting some treats, but he doesn't have much money, so he starts collecting pop bottles to turn them in for money. Meanwhile, the older brother gets home, the kid's gone, he realizes, now I'm in trouble because my little brother's missing. And, he's got to go track down the little fugitive. And so just really entertaining, charming movie, and really wonderful just to see, because I'm sure this was a low budget thing. This was not like they just went to Coney Island and shot this. So you get to see like what Brooklyn and Coney Island and that New York was like in 1953, 54.
53, by the way. Yeah, 53.
53. Okay. I don't think there's anybody. No, I don't remember the director being anyone famous.
It's the only thing the director ever did.
Yeah, yeah, it makes perfect sense. But I just saw that on. I think I had taped. Sometimes I would do this back when I was in college. I would go out and DJ like the college parties, and I would just put a video cassette in and tape TCM, and then I'd come home and just pop it in and watch whatever was on. And I just was, wow, that's, I was surprised how good it was.
Awesome.
And yeah, and the little kid is the majority of the film, is this little child who I don't know that he ever went on to do anything. So, yeah, Little Fugitive.
Nope, not really.
So
interesting.
Now I've got to roll again.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got 9.
9.
So Antonio, tell me a movie that you will take a date. I wrote girl, but I guess I'd take a date with if you want them to break up with you.
Oh,
This was inspired by a true story in my life. So
okay,
I'll
okay.
tell you. In fact, if you want, while you think of that, I can tell the story
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah. Please do.
Is this a movie? Is this a movie like I like it's so bad that they will break up with me because
It's
I've
whatever
taken them to the
like whatever it is. Just there's some person that you're dating, and you're just
Fed
you
up.
don't want to be the one that gets rid of them, or you've been trying and you can't, so you want to just take them to something, and they're like, well, if you want to watch that, I'm gone. Um, and that's what happened. When I was DJing, there was this girl that had seen me at a party that would call me up, and she was kind of flirty and ask me out, and I wasn't interested. She wasn't my type. Um, although I mean, I don't want to go into that. I just wasn't interested, and so we hung out one time, and no sparks, nothing. But she kept calling, and then I saw that the theater right close to where I lived was doing they called it the Dusk Till Dawn Horror Marathon, and so at 7 p.m. at dusk they showed From Dusk Till Dawn.
Nice.
Then they showed, I think it was Hellraiser, and then they showed Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then they showed Night of the Living Dead, and I think then the Mystery 3 a.m. movie or something was whatever, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Matthew McConaughey, the one that at the time was like the new.
Jesus.
And then at dawn they showed From Dusk Till Dawn again. So it was like this 12-hour block of movies, and I sat through all 12 hours. And I took her though, and she sat through the first one. She's like, oh, it's okay. And then when she sat through the second one, and there was a little intermission before the third movie, we kind of went outside to get some air. And by this point, it's like 11:30 or something, and she's like, I'm sorry, this just isn't for me. And she just took off, got herself home, and I never heard from her again. So I went back in, and I sat there till 7 a.m. But
Oh yeah.
but
All right.
it did the trick. So
Antonio, what do you
you're in a
got?
similar
Oh,
situation.
I did think of two movies. Okay, I'm gonna briefly mention this one movie just because. Okay, this was
It could be
probably
a
the
double
movie
feature.
like yeah. So this movie is about like breakups, which would be La La Land. So that would be a
Interesting.
movie. It's like,
Interesting.
okay, we're
Okay.
breaking up, and this movie they break up, and everything's
Yeah.
gonna be okay. Like everything's
Plant
fine
the
or whatever.
subliminal seed.
It's like we had a good time, and then this is like, yeah, La La Land. It's a feel good movie, I guess, even though it's
Yeah.
sad. The movie I would take somebody to like in the middle of the movie that they would walk out on me. I don't want to talk to this person again or whatever. It would be Sallow or the 120 Days of
Yeah.
Sodom.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
this was this movie's kind of been a little bit on my mind recently because there was like an anniversary of it. Brief description. Movie is based off of the book. I think it's a French book.
Yeah, it
I don't
is.
know how close it is to the actual book, but it's about these like Italian rich fascist sort of come into power of this like Italian town or whatever, and they rile up all these like teenage boys and girls, and then they keep them like in this mansion, um, I guess for 120 days, and they pretty much just like have these like humiliation, uh, sexual, like just awful things to these like group of teenagers that they capture.
Mhm.
And the movie is made like actually very artistically. Like it's a really good movie by this director Pier Pasolini, and he was actually murdered because of this movie. Like people
I didn't
brutally
know that.
murdered him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
By
eventually because of this. But
fascists.
yeah, but so it's an anti-fascist movie, but it's very gross. Like they're like warning to anybody like listening. It's like not a fun watch because there's like poop. There's poop in it. There's eating of like poop and pee.
Yeah,
So
it's vile.
uh, most people probably couldn't stomach the movie. I did see it with a audience in a theater once, and it was like that was so I had seen it before, and I knew it was a disturbing movie, and then I went to go see it in a theater, and that was what it really unlocked to me, like, "Oh, this is a work of art." Like, this is
Yeah.
now I know why it's, like, referenced, because it's, like, like an anti-fascist work of art, but it's just hard to sit through, and so, like, if I was trying to turn someone away from me, I would be like, "Hey, let's go see this," but it would be
Let's go see
awful,
my
like
favorite movie.
right, it would be
Sallow.
awful.
Great
Okay.
choice.
So
All
are
right,
we
this will
doing
be
one more now?
this will be the last one, and from Antonio's list
my
for
list.
Greg.
Okay. I got 4, which I believe sounds familiar. Like we've already done 4.
Yeah,
on
we've
his
already
list.
done 4 twice.
Okay.
Have we done
Waited.
9 on his list?
No.
No.
Let's have it.
Okay. This one is a film based on a book that is better than the book.
You
In
know,
opinion.
it's funny. I've got the exact opposite category on mine. There was one
Oh,
where I
hell
was like,
yeah.
the book was better. So, so you're saying that the film was better than the book?
Film is better than the book.
Let's see. That's actually, now that I think about it, that's actually what I think I was trying to do, and I'm glad you didn't get mine because I realized I phrased mine wrong because that's exactly this is the same question I was going to ask.
Yeah.
So, you know, my answer is Jackie Brown, which was based on Elmore Leonard's Rum Punch, and I remember reading, and so this is where the movie is better, right? I'm not doing this wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, movie is better.
Okay. So, yeah, after seeing Jackie Brown, I heard it was based on Rum Punch. So I went out and found a copy and I read it. And I felt like the book was really, I didn't even like it that much. Like reading it, like a lot of times you'll read a book and you're like, oh, this should be a movie or this is like great plot. And especially something like Jackie Brown, which seems so intricate. I expected the book to be, but the book felt very flat somehow. And so, and the funny thing is, there was another same right. Elmore Leonard. He wrote the book Get Shorty was based on, which is called Get Shorty. Same thing where I read that and I was like, wow, they did it better. In both cases, it was poor Mr. Elmore Leonard who I have it on good authority that he's written some good books too. But those are the two I've read, and in both cases, I was just like I didn't really enjoy those books at all. And yet, those are two I think excellent movies. I think Jackie Brown and Get Shorty both are just fast-paced, entertaining as hell, especially Jackie Brown. Like as much as I like Pulp Fiction as I think, you know, not only Tarantino's best film, but one of the just best films ever made, I feel like Jackie Brown is somehow maybe a better movie, like as far as like a traditional film, because it's got that really tight narrative and really clever story and a lot of twists and unexpected turns. But yeah, maybe it makes sense when you've got Sam Jackson and Robert Forster and Robert De Niro and people. I'm forgetting who else is. Pam Grier. Like it's a great cast of great actors, and then Tarantino writing for them. Maybe it makes sense. But yeah, Jackie Brown definitely better than Rum Punch.
Nice. Well,
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
All right.
I think also just as an adjunct, I think I have a letterboxed list where I made the movies I could think of where I liked the movie better, because usually the book is better.
Yeah,
that's usually the famous thing.
There's just
the
more
book is
space
better.
to do something with it.
Yeah, you know, The Great Gatsby, the famous example. You know, three terrible. Well, not the Luhrmann one was good, but a book they've never been able to get right. But yeah, there's a handful of movies where I've seen them and I've read the book and been like, you know, book was better,
Nice.
or movie was better. So
all right, guys.
We did
cool.
it.
That's our show.
It was fun.
I hope that was very kind of all over the place cinematically, but I hope that was entertaining to people.
Yeah.
If you're a listener and you are interested and you watch any of these movies, let us know what you think, or if you like our style episode, let us know so we can do more of this. Or if you have a category
that would be great to
suggestion.
get some feedback. I think this would be fun to do again, especially since we each have 5 categories that are still surprises. But yeah, I'd love. Do we have what kind of feedback have we, if any? Like,
we don't have anything. We don't have anything this week or this episode. But,
okay. But I mean, generally speaking, are we like what kind of?
I don't know if we've gotten any reviews.
No,
I can check.
Like any word. Guys,
even a bad one. Even if you
love us, if you hate us.
Yeah, email us to yell at us.
Tell us, what movies. Or I'd love to hear other people's answers. Maybe
tell us
somebody
which of the 3 of us should be voted out of the show. That'd be a good email.
I think it would be great to if a listener thinks of a movie category that they like, we can incorporate that into our
Yes.
next version of this
I'd
episode.
like to see that. I'd also just be curious what answer someone else would have given. Maybe they'll say, "Yeah,
Any
when
of
you
those.
asked about the child lead actor, you forgot
Yes.
fill in the blank." Yeah.
That's a good one.
So, yeah,
Awesome.
but yeah, I hope people enjoyed this, and
Mhm.
we'll be back next time with
Yeah.
a new
Something
show
new.
with a new topic.
All right.
Like, rate, subscribe, follow us.
Smash that button.
Yep. Hit that little bell button for the notification.
Bell button. Yeah. Cool. All right.
All right, guys.